All right, hey, Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor going to the Most High Power in the name of His beloved Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors on to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule exceptionally well, and also Shalom citations. Mercy and blessings to all you sincere brothers out there pushing this word with truth and faith. My name is Thabo Amath of Great Millstone Northwest. I want to share this article I came across here on the RT News app, Russia Today news app, which was put up 6 hours ago. Today's date is October the 30th. It's a Monday. And this article reads, Rewriting History, Biblical Eclipse Shed New Light on Pharaohs. Okay. Now, this article, this article, it kind of cracks me up how the extent of which Esau tries to go to attempt to discredit the Bible or discredit some of the stories or try to change things up, you know what I'm saying, just to so it can fit in his favor. Because ultimately, the Edomites, all right, Esau, the so-called white man, um, ultimately they seek to try to discredit the scriptures, because if the scriptures are not true, then they wouldn't have to be exterminated at the end of their sentence of slavery. All right. If the scriptures aren't true, then their beloved city, America, doesn't have to be destroyed. If the scriptures aren't true, well, that means the people that they've been shitting on for thousands of years, which is the nation of Israel, the true nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. If the scriptures aren't true, that means that there's no consequences for them screwing those people over for so long. Okay. So we know that they're trying to search out the oceans, they're trying to search out space, because it's written in the scriptures that if they were able to do such things, that the nation of Israel will become no longer. So they're constantly trying to find a new way to deceive the people and to discredit the Bible, because they think they have it, that for some weird reason they have it in their mind that if they don't believe in the Bible, if the people don't believe in the Bible, then everything must not be true, when that's far from the case. All right, so let's read into this article. You brothers are going to see what I mean, and then we'll jump into some of these scriptures relating to this. It says, starting to read, it says, a mysterious event mentioned in the Bible was actually the oldest solar eclipse ever recorded. A new Cambridge study has found the relation, the relation, the revelation may help to rewrite the dates of the Egyptian pharaohs, including the famous Ramesses II. The celestial event described in the Old Testament book of Joshua has been puzzling scholars for centuries. In the King James Bible, after Joshua led the Israelites into Canaan, a land which is now partly in modern Israel and Palestine, he prayed, sun stand still in Gibeon, and moon in the valley of Alajalon. And Salaki if I mispronounced that. It says, and the sun stood still, and the moon stopped until the nation took vengeance on their enemies. The passage continued. Now, Cambridge researchers say the phase refers to an ancient solar eclipse that took place on October 30th, 1207 BC, when Pharaoh um, Merneptah was waging war against the people of Israel in Canaan. Okay, and like I said, they be making up stuff, man. All right, but we're gonna read through this so that way you can see where it is that they're coming from, why they're making these claims, and then we're just gonna straight up go to the scriptures and look it up the same way they say they did, and we're gonna see what's so and what's not. Okay, it says if the passage were describing a real observation, then a major astronomical event was taking place. Which on that day, the day they're speaking about with Joshua, when the sun and the moon stood still, that day was a major astronomical event, man. All right, because for a full day, the sun was stood in its place. So that was a major astronomical event. Reading on, it says, wrote Professor Sir Colin Humphreys and Grammy Waddington, co-authors of the study published in Astronomy and Geophysics Journal. Modern English translations, which follow the King James translation of 1611, usually interpret this text to mean that the sun and the moon stopped moving. The sun and the moon stopped moving, the study said, but analyzing the original Hebrew text provided an alternative interpretation. See, the scriptures tell you to lean not on your own interpretation, okay? It says that the sun and the moon just stopped doing what they normally do. They stopped shining. And that's not nowhere at all written in the scriptures. If you look up the words, which we are going to look up the words surrounding these scriptures in Joshua, the 10th chapter that they're speaking about. We're going to look up some of these words, and we're going to see if we can find it where it says that they stopped doing what they normally do, or that they stopped shining, and that's what the meant for the day to stand still. Okay, we're going to look it up. It says the Hebrew text could be referring to a solar eclipse. And you notice how they say it could be referring to a solar eclipse, because Esau really doesn't know. He just wants to throw any type of chaos that he can out there to try to try to seize the mind of the people, man. You know, you control the people's mind, you control them. You know, so he's just seeking to discredit the scriptures and make the scriptures seem as phony as he possibly can. So that way he could just lead more into destruction, because that is his main purpose. That is his modus operandi. His MO is to be a force of destruction, whether it be in a physical state or whether it be in a mental or a spiritual state. He is there to be a destroyer. All right, that is Esau's. That's his operation. Okay, that's what he's programmed to do. He is the wicked. All right, and I say Esau, I'm speaking about the so-called white man. All right, the Caucasians. It says the Hebrew text could be referring to a solar eclipse when the moon passes between the earth and the sun. The sun appears to stop shining. Humphreys and Waddington explain. To set an exact date of the eclipse, they developed an eclipse code which calculated data from Earth's rotation. Using the eclipse code, the Cambridge researchers found that only annular eclipse visible in the land of Canaan at that time, between 1500 and 1050 BC, was the one on the afternoon of October 30th, 1207 BC. Okay, so I mean, basically that's the point. If you would like to read on with this article, continue to look at it. It's called Rewriting History, and notice that they said that they're rewriting history. That's what Esau does, man. He changes history up. We know that because where's the proof of our existence? You know, where's the proof of our existence prior to the Renaissance? It's hard to find. It's out there, but it's hard to find just due to Esau rewriting history. So as it says, he's rewriting history, but biblical eclipse sheds new light. Salakia, all the brothers are texting right now. A lot of people texting me right now. So Salakia from my phone continuing to go off. It says biblical eclipse sheds new light on pharaohs. All right, which you see that didn't even really mention anything about the pharaohs. I don't know why. I think they just they title it like that for clickbait. But let's actually go into this account of Joshua and the day that the sun and the moon stopped working, or stopped moving, should I say, Salakia, stopped moving. Let's actually go into that account here in the Blue Letter app, and let's look up some of these words that's surrounding that event, because they said that if you go back to the Hebrew text, that it would pretty much go to an eclipse, or it'll point signs to an eclipse. Let's find that back up again, where they said what they just did, and see if we can let me see, let me find it once more. Salakia. Okay, here, right? It says starting at this paragraph in quotations about the modern English translations. It says midway through, but analyzing an original Hebrew text provided an alternative interpretation. Okay, analyzing the original Hebrew text. So let's go to some original Hebrew text here in the Blue Letter Bible. Let's go to the book of Joshua. Let's go to the chapter that is found in, which is chapter 10. And it starts around 8. Um, but we are actually going to start in verse 12 because that's to the point. Now, brothers are probably familiar with the story. Um, Basically, this is while the children of Israel is going through and claiming different cities and lands in the actual land of Israel, which at that time was called by the land of Canaan, which had multiple different heathenistic kings. The Amorites were ruling that land. There was multiple different nations there that was ruling it, and it was Israel's job to go through and to clear them out, basically, and to take over that land because that land was actually promised onto Israel, and those heathens, it didn't belong to them. All right, the Most High didn't give that land on to them, so it was to be taken away from them. So this is one of the moments where some of this Israel already had taken down a couple of the major city states. All right, a couple of the major city states and overthrew their kings. So some of the surrounding kings of the area wanted to band together to come up against Israel with a great multitude. All right. That's basically paraphrasing what's going on. All right, so verse 12, it says, Then spake Joshua unto the Lord Yahweh in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. Okay? And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hastened not to go down about a whole day. Okay? It says about a whole day. Reading verse 14 as well, it says, And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. Okay? So that's the account. Let's look up some of these words. Again, referring back to that ridiculous article found on RT, midway through this verse here, starting at this word but. It says, but analyzing an original Hebrew text provides an alternative interpretation. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to analyze an original Hebrew text, and we're going to see if it points towards an eclipse or not. Okay, because the words that they're looking at is what that the sun stood still. So let's look that up here in verse 12. It says towards the latter part of the verse, it says, sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. Okay, so let's look at this word still. Let's look at stand. Let's look at stand and let's look at still. Let me see. How do we pull it up? There we go. Interlinear. So let's look at these words that they provide for us. Sun, stand thou still. Okay, so it only gave us one word for that, stand thou still. And that word looks like damam. Damam. Again, Salakia for all the text messages that are coming through. The brothers are active on our camp text message thread, and they're having a conversation. So Salakia. Okay, so this is what we have. This is the word damam found in Joshua 10 and 12 for the word still. Technically, the phrase "stand thou still." Okay, it says to be silent, be still, to wait, be dumb, grow dumb, to be silent, to be still, to die, to struck dumb, to be silenced, to be made silent, destroyed, to make quiet, to make silent, silent, still, silent, cut off, cut down, rest, cease, forbear, peace, quieted, tarry, wait, to be dumb, by implication, to be astonished, to stop, also to perish, cease, to be cut off, forbear, hold, peace, quiet, self, rest, be silent, keep silence, be still, tarry, and wait. Okay. Some other examples that they said it, that they use this exact word, damam, is Exodus 15 and 16. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm, they shall be still as a stone. Okay. Let's look at As said 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 9. If they say unto us, tarry until we come unto you, and we will stand still in our place and will not go up unto them. Okay, so they're trying to say that this is pointing towards an eclipse because it's saying to be still or to cease or to stop, basically. But that same word is used here in 1 Samuel 14 chapter verse 9, where it's saying tarry until I come unto you, which just means to wait. All right. Now, what the scriptures said is that the earth, or that the sun, it stood still. All right, meaning that it stood right there. It stood fast in the spot that it was in, wherever it was that the Most High stopped it at the request of Joshua. That's exactly where it stood at. Okay. Let me see. Slack, man. These brothers is with it right now. Okay. It says let me look up another example. Well, I mean, that's pretty much the point. Ezra kind of proves it. We're going to look up some more of the words as well. Okay, but that was the word for still. So they based off of what these people who published this article, based off of what they know, they looked up this word and it said to be still or to be dumb, and they took that as, oh, well, that means it stopped shining, when that's not the case. You got to look at other words as well. Let's look at this word here. So that was from verse 12, saying that it stood still upon Gibeon, and that the moon stood still in the valley of uh, Ajanlan. Slakia, man, I'm really struggling with that word. It says, and the sun stood still, and the moon stayed. So let's look up these words, man. Let's look up and see if these are the same words. For verse 13, saying that it stood still, and the sun stood still, so that gave you the same word, damam, which we just looked up. It says, and the moon stayed, which stayed is a whole different word, all right? That's imad, is what the word is for stayed, talking about the moon. Now, the moon and the sun, they did the exact same thing, okay? Let's remember that. The scriptures just said that that the sun to stay still, and for the sun to stay still in Gibeon, and for the moon in that valley of Ajalon. So it says, this is the Hebrew word imad, which is the word for stayed, speaking about the moon, which really it's speaking about the sun and the moon, because they both did the exact same function at the request of Joshua, okay, at the hand of the Most High Power Yahweh. It says to stand, remain, endure, take one stand. To stand, take one stand, be in standing attitude, stand forth, to stand, present oneself, attend upon, be or become servant of, to stand still, to stop moving or doing, to cease, to tarry, to delay, to remain, continue, abide, endure, persist, be steadfast, to make a stand, hold one's ground, to stand upright, remain standing, to stand up, rise, be erect, be upright, to arise, appear, come on the scene, stand forth, arise, rise up, or against, to stand with, take one's stand, be appointed, grow flat, grow in spid. I'm now select, man. That word is crazy. It says to station, to set, to cause, to stand firm, maintain, to cause to stand up, cause to set up, erect, to present one before king, to appoint, ordain, establish, to be presented, to cause to stand before. All right. Stood, stand, rise, stand up, set, stay, still, appointed, standing, endure, remain, present, continue, withstand, waited, establish, miscellaneous. Okay. To abide, to appoint, arise, cease, confirm. You brothers get the point, man. It's a long definition here, but you brothers get the point of what this word imad means. Okay. And it's speaking about the moon. But if it's speaking about the moon, it's speaking about the sun and the moon, all right, for what they have done. So in verse 13, the sun stood still and the moon stayed, okay? So they did the exact same function, both of them, okay? And when you read verse 12, all right, midway through verse 12, it says, sun, stand thou still in Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon, okay? So they did the exact same function. They both stopped where they were at. All right. They didn't continue to move forward. They stopped exactly where they were. All right. According to the Hebrew text, which this article found in RT, this ridiculous article is what I'm gonna call it. This ridiculous article right here, midway through this verse, starting with modern English translations, it says, but analyzing an original Hebrew text provided an alternative interpretation. So what is this alternative interpretation that you're getting? When you read these scriptures, what is it actually that's popping into your mind? I'm sure it's not a solar eclipse. All right. This didn't say anything about the sky going dark. There's no mention in here about the sky going dark. In fact, it's just speaking about how the sun stayed out for the length of a day rather than the sky going dark for the length of a solar eclipse, which is what, under an hour? Under an hour, all right, for a total solar eclipse, it's like what, about a 3 minute time span or something, okay? But for the entirety of the whole solar eclipse, we just had one a couple months back this year, a solar eclipse, and that didn't last all day, all right? That didn't last all day. So this article is clearly full of it's full of bones and it's full of snares, and it's purposely written like that just so it can take people that really don't understand the scriptures, they really don't study under the scriptures, but they think they believe in something. It's really just to snare them and to take them away with that doctrine of wind. All right. So let's jump into some more scriptures, man. I mean, because I think that's for me, it's pretty clear lined out that about what's going on here. In fact, if you was to go to Google, and you was to type in missing day, right? Missing day. Slovakia. Missing day in history. All right. Missing day in history. What it's going to do is it's going to pull up this NASA article where they have ran this computer simulation, and every time they run this computer simulation trying to pretty much map out the orbit of the sun, the planets, and all this, it always comes to an error saying that there's incorrect data. And the reason there's incorrect data is because there's a day that's missing. You can read these articles. This article is everywhere. It's the same, basically the same article. Either way you try to go up against it, or typing in this missing day, and it leads you back to this NASA discovering that lost day in time. All right. It even speaks about how it's missing 40 minutes, which was spoken about in 2 Kings, the 20th chapter, man, around the 9th through the 11th verse. How the prophet Isaiah turned the sun back a couple degrees. Okay, so I mean that's been proven by Esau's so-called science, and yet here they are still trying to discredit certain facts, man. All right, so let's go to some of the scriptures. Let's get first Psalms chapter 14 verse 1. Because you cannot forget that this devil is a fucking liar, man. And he's constantly on the prowl trying to snare, seeking who he can devour, Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. It reads, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. And that's really what Esau has pushed upon the world. That's truly what Esau is trying to get in the minds of the common person, is that there is no power. That's why he's constantly trying to debunk this about the Bible or debunk that about the Bible, or he sends his little agents out there to debate this and that about the Bible. All right, because really what they believe inside their own mind is that there is no power. It says they are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. All right, that's pretty much the point. They said in their heart that there is no power. That's truly what Esau believes, man. That's why Esau goes about the entire world just being a straight up liar, man. All right, lying on everything. He lies about his own past. All right, he lies about the past of others, the history of others. All right, he has a heritage of oppression, man. Okay, so let's jump real quick to Romans, the first chapter, and let's grab. So like, yeah, passed it all the way up. Romans, the first chapter, verse 25. All right, it says, "Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And that's a question. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie? All right. And that answer is quite clear. It's Esau, man. All right. The nation of Edom, the so-called white man. He has been the forerunner for changing the truth into a lie, from changing things from facts and mixing it in with a whole bunch of fiction. All right. Esau, he is known to do that, man. All right. I got another scripture. This is in Revelations, which this was specifically towards the church of Ephesus, but it fits. It fits to prove the point here about Esau being a liar. Okay. It reads Revelation 2:2. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst, meaning you cannot, canst not bear them which are evil. Okay, and that's us brothers here in Great Millstone. That's why when we see a flat out lie like this, we're compelled in our spirit to actually bring it out and speak against it. Okay, because we cannot bear them which are evil. All right. It says, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, because Esau would love to say that they know the Bible, that they study under the Bible, and so on and so forth. All right, so they like to say that they are sent out. That's what the word apostle means, sent out, and are not, and has found them liars, man. Okay, because it's been proven time and time again that this white man, this devil, the king of this earth, the one that the earth is given into the hand of, he is a fucking flat out liar, man. All right. Let's grab this real quick. This is Isaiah the 44th chapter. Let's say the 25th verse. All right. And this is speaking about the Most High. This is speaking about the Most High, man. This is what the Most High does, all right? Because even though Esau's a liar, he's not gonna get away with it. It says if at all possible they would deceive the very elect, but it's not possible, man. That was more like a joke, like I never pronounce this word right, but a facetiousness, okay? Facetious. Anyway, this is Isaiah chapter 44, verse 25. All right, speak about the Most High. Actually, I'll read verse 24 just so the point can come across a little clearer. Verse 24 says, "Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, the Redeemer of Israel, that is, thy Redeemer, and he that formeth thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustreth the tokens of the liars, that frustreth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, and turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish." Okay, because hey, the Most High is truly doing that to Esau. He's making his knowledge foolish. He's bringing out everything that everything Esau's been holding dear. He's proving it to be false and to be fabricated. All right, but more importantly, my favorite part of this verse is that frustrate the tokens of the liars, man. Frustrate meaning to upset or to disrupt. All right, to upset or to disrupt, and then the tokens being like their works or what they're putting forth. Okay, so he frustrates the tokens of the liar. So everything, it's all coming to light. Everything that Esau's been putting out, everything Esau's been spreading forth, that's been a lie, specifically about the nation of Israel or about the Most High Power himself. It's all coming to the forefront that it was a lie, man, and the truth is coming out, man. And for that, we do say Barakatah Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because that's a beautiful thing for us, man. All right, so hey, man, that's pretty much the point, man. Esau's gonna constantly be trying to push forth more and more lies, and it is our job to to cast truth where that darkness is at, so that way the truth can shine forth, man. So Lord willing, the message was received. Lord willing, brothers was edified. All right. Until again, I'm gonna say Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor again unto the Most High Power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom, citations, mercy, and blessings to you, sincere brothers out there pushing this word with truth and with faith, man. Until next time, brethren. Shalom.